For thousands of years, humans have sung together, creating harmony, beauty, community, and joy. Here on How Can I Keep From Singing, we talk about this ancient art form, exploring the power and some of the how-to. I'm your host, Stuart Stotts, coming to you from rural Wisconsin. My guests today are from the New Hope Baptist Church in West End near Birmingham, Alabama. I was fortunate to be in Birmingham a couple of months ago and to get to hear the New Hope Choir and experience the power of the whole service. I met Pastor Clark at the time, and we connected later about being part of this podcast. The choir at New Hope has a long and powerful tradition of meeting ministry with music. Earlier this year, the choir was named the nation's best choir at the highly competitive Sound Awards in Dallas. They've been featured in other settings, and every year they set a high standard for gospel music. With me here today are Pastor Clark, Minister of Music Michael Mays, and Gayeni Dotson, President of the Mass Choir. Welcome to How Can I Keep From Singing?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Such a pleasure to have you all here. Every time I mention gospel music, people's faces light up. What is it about the power of gospel music itself that has such a transformative and powerful impact on people?
Well, I believe gospel music is it's a genre of music that actually you can't play around with because what's loaded with it when you change the atmosphere, certain things happen when you sing just gospel music. So you have other genres when you sing jazz, when you sing blues, when you do hip hop, those actually make you feel good, just maybe in the emotional area. But I think once you sing gospel and you call on the name of Jesus, the whole atmosphere of what you are going through shifts and changes. So gospel music I believe, is one of the, if not the most powerful genre of music that there is.
You certainly can't separate it from the religion and the service and the ministry that it's part of. It's not just an art form.
It's important in our church here to have music is vital. It is a tradition that New Hope has had for many years, long before I became pastor, but it's continued long as I've been here, that we place a very high emphasis on making sure that we have good music, good quality sound, instruments, and singers and so forth, because it is of the utmost importance in our congregation.
There's a long tradition of gospel music there. How has that changed over the years? Pastor Clark, I know you've been there a while. How has gospel music, or the music in the service, how's that transformed over the last, let's call it 30 years or so?
We are fortunate to have several forms of music. You've heard our mass choir, but we have a praise team. We have an ensemble. We have a male chorus. We have a children's choir. We have so many different outlets for people to participate, and all of our groups are excellent under the direction of our minister of music that makes sure that we maintain a certain standard and quality of music here.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, the quality of music there is just superior. How do you do that?
Honestly, this started before me. I'm the third minister of music here at the New Hope Baptist Church. The very first one was Dr. John David Brown, and then the second one was Dr. Minister Prince Yelder. Now, under Prince Yelder, I served as a musician. So I was able to learn a lot as I was just serving as a musician. And so then when my time came to become the minister of music, I was able to step into the role because I knew what it took to make this service. New Hope is just a different church compared to others when you talk about music. The level of excellence here is really, really, really high. I mean, the guys before me, again, John David Brown, that's a living legend, God rest his soul. And Dr. Yelder, he's a living legend in himself. You cannot mention Birmingham, Alabama without mentioning Dr. Prince Yelder. So these guys have paved the way. And so I'm just a little fella that's just trying to hold up the standard because these guys have done 15 years. I'm only on year 3. So I'm just trying to hold it up and just keep the standard going.
Well, it sounds like you're doing that. And I guess what I'm wondering is, what are the ingredients? What are the pieces? Why is there such excellence there? I understand there's a long tradition, but what makes up that tradition to make it so powerful and recognized?
I just think it was birthed here in this church. I mean, that's just something that's just, when you come here to this church, the ingredient is you're going to come in with excellence. We're going to give it our all, regardless on what ministry you're a part of. You're going to give your best. So you learn the feel of the music. You learn the message of the music. So delivering it to the audience, you know exactly what it is, the message that we're trying to convey. So it's a lot of ingredients. It's, you know, a lot of prayer, a skill, studying. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. But I'm just so grateful that we are able to make it happen.
You're listening to How Can I Keep From Singing? My name is Stuart Stotts, and I'm here with members of the New Hope Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama.
Because of the standard attracts people that want to participate. We have a lot of great voices, a lot of that's solo quality, but they're willing to sing, you know, it has to be sing background, to be a part of this. And Glennie may be able to tell a little bit more about the choir, because she's been part of such a long time and experienced a lot of travel and everything with our choir.
It's an experience that, I mean, it's just almost out of this world. I became a member of the choir under Dr. John Brown. I was 8 years old. It's just something about it. You know, when Sundays when we know we going to sing, you know, I be geared up. You know, they call me the dancing soprano. You know, I move. You know, if you on my road, you going to have, you know, you may get knocked down by me. It's no telling. But, you know, we have our praise team. The mass choir come, we bring the vegetables, right? So you got your bread, you got your vegetables. Then our pastor come with the meat. Well, we don't have to stay for dessert because we threw after the message. You know, so it's just time to go lay down and rest because I be tired when we get through singing, you know. And so it's just a fun experience, you know. And when we are out, and which I know you singing the New Hope Mass Choir, you know, that makes you feel good, you know, and people come to hear the choir.
So your whole body is part of it. It's not just taking place up in your throat or your mouth. There's a real sense of being completely engaged from what I could see and from what you're talking about.
The past, you know, it's just a joy. You never know how a person is feeling when they come into church and they hear us sing. You know, we always say, it's not about us, it's about giving God the glory. And, you know, you never know what a person is going through. You know, and if our singing can uplift a person to keep them from doing something crazy, then, you know, we done, you know, what God has sent us here to do.
It seems like the word uplifting is the best adjective to think about when I think about gospel music. It's there to lift us up.
Yes.
What is the relationship between the song and improvisation? When I was there, the songs, first of all, they're a lot longer than in the standard church where I might come from, where you have sort of your 3-minute hymn, right? And I think that they're also being improvised some. You're not just reading from a sheet. Talk a little bit about how that works.
Okay, so a lot of that comes from improvisation. When you improv, a lot of times is what we allow the spirit to move. And so once we get into a situation, I may say, and that's where she goes back to say, watch. We may have this certain situation set up, but once the spirit moves, I can be in the middle of something and I feel like this house needs to hear this message right here. I'm able to get in contact with my band director and he leads the band to where it is that I want to go. And because I've told them so many times to watch, we are able to transition because they know just to watch. And so a lot of times you'll get one song that may start here, but we may improv and go to a whole nother song that it still simultaneously has the same message, but just the songs may have a different feel. I think that leads to a lot of improv. A lot of times I may just have a different I love the message of a song, but maybe the feel, I may want to give it a different feel. That's another way of improv. So my biggest thing when my choir comes to choir rehearsal is I tell them, don't put us in a box. You can't put us in a box. You may hear a song a certain way, but when you come to New Hope Baptist Church, you may hear the same song, but it may be in a different form, and it may relate to you in a different way. So I think a lot of that is where the improv comes from.
Where do you begin? You've got songs. Are they songs that are created within the church? Is there a tradition of gospel music that you're drawing from? Where do you start?
In the Baptist church, we have what's called gospel standards. So, of course, you have your hymns, but as far as choir, we have what's called choir standards. Basically, what that means is if you go to certain Baptist churches, you will normally hear these songs done by church choirs. But because New Hope has a different standard, we may present it to you in a different way than the normal Baptist church may present it to you. You have songs that you can create. We have songs that we've heard from different artists. We have songs even that our church has recorded before. We may go back and we may redo those. So it's so many ways and so many dictionaries I can pull from that gives me songs that I can do here at the church.
Right. You've got this whole material to draw from.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Clark, I noticed also, I believe this is a gospel tradition. As your sermon came to an end, you moved into what I would call kind of a singing or a sing-song thing. Is that what you usually do? It's very powerful to hear that. And it feels like it connects to the music that's part of the rest of the service.
As a Black pastor of a Black church, our culture is very rhythmic. We relate to rhythm. We relate to a certain cadence. In a lot of the Black Baptist churches, they know that when the pastor, the preacher is up and is coming to the close of the message, he changes the tempo from what may have been a little bit monotone, goes into something that is rhythmic, and our people relate to that because it kind of emulates. We have a kind of a sing-song mentality, and so it kind of connects back to the music that's going on.
Steal away, steal away, steal away.
You're listening to How Can I Keep From Singing? My name is Stuart Stotts, and I'm talking today with members of the New Hope Baptist Church from Birmingham, Alabama.
Got your own praying ground. God will send a messenger to meet you there. Have I got a witness here? And all you need is just one touch. Just one touch can change your...
Pastor, you mentioned the Black culture, and gospel music, of course, comes out of that. There's a relationship somewhat to the spirituals, which are much older and more in the folk tradition, not necessarily composed, but also that attempt to address some of the suffering that the Black community has gone through. How do you see that as part of your ministry and the music you're presenting?
It's ironic that you mentioned that because just this past Sunday, I deviated from the norm of the certain selections that the choir has sang, but I went back and did one of the old traditional type of hymns, where it's congregational, and so I from time to time I'll go back and do it just to remind us of our culture and of our history, so that we don't ever get lost from that, and have the congregation to participate in the singing.
In the service, as I recall, and I may not have this quite right, you have the choir singing, improvising, people taking parts, and so on. But the congregation is not singing as much. There's some singing. Talk a little bit about that, because often in churches, like I come from a Protestant Presbyterian church, you have a choir, but the choir is really, they'll do one piece, but most of all, it's the congregation singing, and not very well, I might add. But so
usually here at our church, I think the people come to more so enjoy, and then once they learn the song, because I try to do my best. When I present a song, I first time I just want to present it to you, to introduce it to you, and then once we come back and we do it again, hopefully the message has conveyed it to you, so now you're able to sing the song with us. Now, once we've done it again, now you recognize that, hey, this song is a part of me. I understand the message of this song. I can sing this at home. I can sing this on my way to work. I can sing this, while I'm picking my kids up from school. So it's more so of we come to enjoy the choir. Now, we do have a couple of selections that I do that does involve the congregation to sing along with us. We don't, most churches, now I do understand they do a hymn every week, they'll do, a hymn after hymn every week. We're not set up that way. But you will catch us if, like you said, when we do our improv, we are quick to go into a hymn at the drop of a dime. And once that happens, once you say the first two lyrics to a hymn in this church, the whole church join in. They take the song over. So we do it once it happens, though, but we're not a weekly, let's all stand, turn our hymn books to page 323. We just don't do that here at our church.
Can you talk a little bit about a time you can remember where you just felt the music take you?
Well, today is my sister's birthday, but she passed about 2 years ago. It was a song we were singing, something about joy or something. It made me feel better because me and my sister had such a close relationship, and she, passed from cancer, and then after we sung the song, I was full. And then, our pastor came and preached on grief. And that helped me so much. I've had a couple of deaths in my family. I had 2 nephews to pass back to back. It's just the songs that, like I said, you never know what a person is going through. And sometimes there are certain songs that we sing, and they really touches me and helps me, go through what in my mind that I'm, going through.
It's certainly true that songs have a huge role in grief and loss.
Oh, we're not only we sing a lot of songs that express joy and praise. We're very high on praise here because we always want to acknowledge that even whatever situations in our life we're going through, that God is in charge, and we thank Him for who, not just for what He does, but for who He is. So we try to emphasize that praise mentality as well.
I felt that very much in the church, that praise and connection with each other, connection to God was very much at the heart of what you were singing about. I want to thank the three of you so much for talking with me today. If I had a message, I would simply say, go to Birmingham to the New Hope Church and take it in, because you offer something. And on the first and third Sunday, I think in particular.
Yes, sir.
I'm just so moved by having the privilege of being there and now the privilege of talking with all of you. All the best to you in maintaining that excellence and that sense of deep spirit that you have. Thank you very much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much
for having us.
Well, thank you, and you're welcome here anytime.
I hope to be back.
Any grateful folks, you've been so good. You've been so good.
You've been listening to How Can I Keep From Singing, a production of Common Arts. My name is Stuart Stotts, and today my guests were from the New Hope Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama.